kids could be in that situation, or we will be putting our bus drivers in those situations every single morning.
And the thing is that a bus driver cannot drive away and leave a minor unattended on the side of the road because he didn't qualify. So it puts it between a rock and a hot spot where if you test them till they get to school and the child does show some kind of temperature, you isolate him in the room, you make contact with the parent, and now the child's safety has been taken care of.
Hey, Matthew.
And somehow, some way, the parent is going to have to come pick him up because it's true. We cannot leave a child on the side of the road because parents do drop them off with a group of friends and they feel comfortable because you have maybe one parent there watching the whole group of children. Well, that parent's not going to take responsibility.
Just to give everyone today,
that's not theirs and take them to their home and possibly infect.
They have not passed a resolution.
And I just say that I understand.
Fine, but then in the first hour of the day,
Can y'all hear the meeting?
So high temperature, and then what do?
Can y'all hear?
We have to educate parents as to, and I don't know, I mean, I don't think that
Yes.
there can be any consequences for parents for sending their sick children to school, but I mean, I think that those are conversations that we may need to.
We're gonna be faced with all of those issues when the kids are ready to come in. Yes, those things are gonna come about. So it's
And hopefully by then we'll have more answers.
Hopefully by then we'll have a vaccine.
Hopefully by then you'll have more
Hopefully by then
answers.
it'll be gone. No more coronavirus.
No more coronavirus? Are you
So the next
stupid,
thing has to
woman?
do with visitors coming to campus, and parents and other adults may be able to visit the school as permitted by our policy. Again, at this point, the TA is saying, put something in place, or you're going to allow visitors, and they must follow virus prevention and mitigation requirements. However, the ISD TA has given us the authority that we may restrict visits to the schools to those only as essential people.
I
So,
mean,
for example, coming to drop
they
off
still
of
do
lunch,
not get it.
You know, that's not,
This is how
somebody can
dense
meet them
they are.
outside. The less people we have coming into the building, the more we're protecting our students.
Duh!
Those guidelines will be set up.
Maybe not
That
2,000
including the
kids,
time.
maybe not
That's
100,
true,
200
but we're
teachers.
still Now, I know, I have friends in nursing homes and they stop you at the door and that's it. You don't go in. You can pass something over and they'll take it and put it in quarantine and then give it to whoever, but there's no visiting.
They have no answers.
It's a
Te
big
amamos.
Mhm. So
Now-
the next
now-
slide talks about
Now Drew wants to
staffing.
compare the schools with the nursing
Employees,
homes.
One of the things that we hear.
And that's
is
what we're going to
we
have.
know
A
that
bunch of
this is a
schools
very scary
like the
time
nursing
for
homes.
everyone,
Look at what Drew just
for the
said.
adults,
She
for the
wants to
children.
compare the
Everyone
nursing
is
homes
scared. However,
to the schools.
because we are contracted employees, we must continue to meet our work expectations.
What?
And this is very important because, as I started to say, everyone to some extent has some
They're
fear, but
stupid.
we can't allow the fear to overcome what we must do. And our job as educators is to educate our students. So one of the things
She
that,
wanted to, Drew
we
compared
must meet
our
the work
schools to nursing
expectations.
homes.
We're also, in order to make sure that we prepare to this very uncharted waters time that we're going through, we're going to make sure we offer teachers professional development, because it's no longer just come into class, here's your lesson. Now it's about teaching them hand washing techniques and
Teaching
hygiene
them
and so forth.
hand
So we're
washing
gonna get professional
techniques.
development, and if we go virtual, we're also going to have to teach our teachers how to do the virtual and what platforms we're going to
Teach
use.
our teachers now, a month before they go back. Not 4 months ago, now.
Dr. Cantu, one question I think a lot of teachers want to know is what platform
They don't know, Philip.
using.
They don't
You
know.
can make that determination for the remote learning. You know, I mean, that way people can start honing in on those skills. You know, right now, I think it was left up to, in the previous one, it was left up to teachers and staff. and
Oh,
teachers in the
Philip.
classroom. You couldn't do it below the third grade. they didn't give emails to people. So sooner you can get that information out to the troops, I think the better off everybody will be to be able to start practicing.
Mr. Cohen, I believe that Dr. Trevino's second part on this presentation will touch base on that.
It's coming, sir. The information's coming. And so the
So
other
she-
thing that we have been asked by TA is to reduce the number of in-person meetings. So we should not be having faculty meetings where everybody comes together. We're going to be looking at virtual if necessary.
So for the
And
for
if
y'all's
we are not
meetings, y'all
able
going
do
to
the
virtual
for whatever
meetings.
reason, we must maintain the 6 feet distance. The next slide, TA again, these are symptoms that we have seen everywhere, the COVID-19 symptoms. It talks about having a temperature of 100 degrees or higher. Then these are some of the symptoms that are recognized as symptoms for COVID-19.
Oh, sure. Very neat
This slide
information.
right here talks about close contact. This is a brand new slide that TA has just put out. And the reason for that is because there was so many
Drew
interpretations
compared our
about
schools
close
to
contact.
nursing homes.
Things such as
Laurita wants to set up circus
who got
tents
COVID,
at our schools.
and
Dun,
I was
dun,
told
this
about
is a
it. I haven't
circus.
talked to her. I haven't done anything with her. So there's 2 things that TA is saying
What is T
that
saying?
defines close contact.
Oh,
The first one
Sure.
is that first green box. Being directly exposed to infectious secretions. You were
secretions.
coughed on while not wearing a mask. So that's the first one. The second one is that you were within 6 feet, a cumulative duration of 15 minutes with someone that was, and you were not wearing a mask, and they were lab confirmed.
Drew
If any
is
of these occur
nuts.
during the 14 days at the same time with the infected individual, then you're considered a close contact.
Oh,
And individuals that
amazing
may
information.
begin to see symptoms, we are assuming that they have symptoms and they need to get tested.
Oh, you
and
think?
Then make sure that they get their lab results.
Really? You
So you
think?
can see that close contact doesn't mean that it was my cousin and I haven't seen my cousin.
El
so
mendigo
it's
primo.
not about that. It's
No.
being directly exposed to infectious secretions.
Yeah, don't be
You were
exposed to
coughed on, for
secretions.
example,
Yeah,
and
don't
you
be
weren't
coughed
wearing
on.
a mask. Or the second one, you were within 6 feet of someone.
No,
with a
hombre.
cumulative duration of 15 minutes.
O sea, like what they've been
So
telling us for the
this is
past 4
something TA is
months?
putting out brand new. We shared it with our principals because there was a lot of questions on,
You think?
am I considered in close contact?
They still
So
have no
TA
clue what
has
platform to
defined it for
use.
us.
I have a question on that has been brought up by several people over the last couple of weeks.
A ver, Minerva.
If someone we have a teacher and somehow, some way, they get infected and they say, well, they picked it up while working at one of our campuses.
Yeah.
So are we already thinking how we're going to handle that as far as the people have to be given the 14-day quarantine because they were.
Now you're thinking about that? You
Yeah.
idiot.
I think that Dr. Trevino is gonna cover that, and we're gonna expand on that
Thank you.
same thing, and there may be an agenda item that I wanna bring in later on.
Later on? What?
Yes, Dr. Trevino will be sharing the instructional piece and the HR piece. So she has those answers.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The next
They
item
still have no
is a
clue.
screening questionnaire.
The board,
If you
these
notice
people
one
are
of the slides, we
clueless.
talked about making sure that if people have symptoms, we can ask them a series of questions, but only yes and no responses.
April!
We can't ask.
I
people,
did it in
"What
April!"
conditions do you have?" Because that's a violation of their FERPA and HIPAA. So it's just yes or no. And we cannot collect information on people and start a list and saying, okay, Nelly Cantu has all these underlying conditions. We cannot do that. We can.
Maybe
the
don't send them at
responses that
all?
we get, yes or no, they need to be destroyed at the end of the day. So whatever, we were not keeping records of anyone's data because that's very confidential.
Oh.
As far as the Public Information Office, what I
They're
added
so
this
stupid,
slide
Erica.
Because
Philip,
we
go
know
sit down.
There's multiple sources that people can get information about BISD, but we want them to get it from the most reliable source. And the most reliable source is BISD. Mr. Moody and
The
Ted
most
will
reliable
do a
source
good
is
job making
BISD?
sure that we get reliable information. Not I heard. and we lose, it's been translated by 10 different people.
The most reliable source?
By the time it gets to the end, it's a very different message. So we're asking our community, our parents, our staff, please, please, please go to the BISD website. We have social media, various sources of social media.
It takes like
That's where you're going to get accurate information, and that's where you're going to get
no,
effective information.
not true. Not
And
true.
I would like to conclude by just saying thank you, because at BISD, safety is our top priority.
Philip, sit down.
And I hope that this presentation has helped our parents.
No,
and
it hasn't.
Staff understand.
It's
that we're
stupid.
doing a lot of things. Now, while some of these items were general, we are coming back with a plan, and we are going to make sure that we address students entering a campus, a face mask, social distancing, how our parents going to be greeted, and where they won't be able to come into the building. So all that is going to be a part of the plan, because at BISD, that's our top priority.
No, it's not, you idiot. It is definitely not.
And the questionnaires, well, they're gonna take up information, but it's confidential, they can't share it with anyone. So we're gonna have anything in place, is there any repercussions where if we find out that someone.
Oh,
has
no,
somehow,
they just
some way
totally skipped
been
over the
giving out information
asymptomatic
on
carriers.
people that-
I mean, everybody's like,
that
blah, 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 blah.
instead
She's
of
saying
thinking
nothing.
about
She's an idiot.
Unfortunately, sometimes people don't understand the severity of keeping things confidential and how the law.
Shut
protects you.
up.
And
You
then
think
the
it's a
law
hoax,
that
you
have
idiot?
that maybe you didn't put down, but someone did know about it and decided to do something by sharing that information. So is there going to be some kind of guidelines for all our employees to know that this is what you have to do, this is what you have to follow? And are there going to
It
be
is
any
unreal.
implications if the employees fail to follow that?
That's something, Ms. Peña, that we obviously would have to include in the plan and talk about what happens.
They still don't have a plan.
Questionnaire, and it's not.
Sit down. Sit down, Dr. Cantu. Y'all don't have a plan.
Okay, Ms. Laura?
Oye,
Thank you, Ms.
Laurita.
Peña.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, Mr. Brown did bring up a good point about students remaining in place. Does that then mean that our teachers are going to be They're going to be rotate. I understand for elementary it won't be.
And what if the teacher's asymptomatic?
For middle school, high school, are students going to be? They would be remaining in the classroom, and the teachers would be the ones rotating.
Ms. Laura, I'd like to defer that to our curriculum team, because there's still a lot of conversation. And remember,
They have
the data we're
nothing.
getting today is what TEA is.
They have nothing.
It's not telling us the how. So we have some responses.
You're waiting
on the
for
how,
TA to
but we
tell
don't have
you?
all the responses, but that's something that we will be
Oh.
looking at with our curriculum team.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're welcome.
yeah,
But
pass
we
it
are
on to somebody
giving you
else.
the goals, but not giving you the details on how to achieve the goals. And that's our job, to get the details worked out to get the goal, get to the goals.
Once, Ms. Perez, once we have more information, how we are going to start the school year.
What? Once we have more information, wasn't this meeting for that? Turtle riding Gutierrez?
Pushing for the distance learning to be at 100%.
What?
More definitive, if we need to bring in the kids, then we are going to have another special call meeting, emergency meeting, to lay out the plan of action that we're gonna have.
Oh, now there's another emergency meeting, another emergency meeting, another emergency. Other districts are already taking action, you turtle riding superintendent.
Superintendents already working on a plan of action
Other
where we are going.
other districts had already passed a resolution.
Questions that you have, but we need to see what direction we're gonna get in the next few days, but we're preparing for both anyways. And that would be part of the.
You're
preparation.
preparing for nothing, turtle riding superintendent.
We are working on a plan for that.
What?
School board. What I would anticipate, just when we have that meeting, it will be an all-day meeting, like from 8 to 5. Because we will have to cover everything from A to Z on everything that we need to do in the event that we need to bring in our students and do distance learning at the same time this coming August. So prepare for about an 8-hour more meeting.
Someone tell them that
Because we will go in.
someone tell them that August is like
with the plan
two
of action
two
that
weeks
we're
away.
putting together for BISD.
Thank you. On that note, I do want to recognize all my colleagues, because we've all put in the time since this originally happened. We've met
No.
numerous times in person. We've yet to meet via Zoom. We've walked the talk, so I just want to tell everybody
We
that,
walked the talk. We
Even though
walk the
it's been a
talk.
hard time.
Shut up, Laurita. You explore the talk. Laurita, exploradita.
Administration, the superintendent, because we have all been here, as to where some employees were able to work remotely. I understand that administration never did. You know, everybody came in every day, weekends, did.
And that's why they tested positive.
The planning and.
That's why they tested positive at the main office, Laurita.
And Dr. Gutierrez, we get your text messages, and we've all been attached to this district. You know, there has been no remote for us, for the board, for administration. So I just want to commend everyone. Thank you.
Commend everyone for a meeting instead of virtual.
Mr. Cowan?
You idiot.
And just to make sure that anytime we do have a positive or anything like that, we will be notifying everybody immediately, correct? It's going to be very important and that we do.
Yes.
And we have been doing that. We have and we'll continue to do that.
No,
Of course,
you
with
haven't been doing that.
FERPA and HIPAA in mind that
It's a
we
lie.
don't disclose
You haven't been doing that.
too much information, but enough for them to know within their surrounding area, or if it was in close proximity or in contact, they will know, so that because that's our responsibility to be transparent.
You're not transparent.
My letters that I sent the last month and a half or 2 months have all been out there, and so everyone knows that we notify
No,
employees.
no,
I take it all as
No.
transparency and informative from our part to do
No.
those letters.
none,
And,
zero.
Some people may take it negatively, but
Well, yeah,
I
because it
think
takes
at
you
the end
2
of
or
the
3
day,
weeks to report.
Almost the majority of the community feels that we are being transparent.
The majority of the community thinks that they're being
And
transparent.
we will continue to release those letters.
The majority of the community thinks that they're doing a great job.
Mr. Cowan?
Yes,
Madam
folks?
Chair, I want the public to know, and I commend all my fellow board members for this, that this board has met more often than probably any board in South Texas, probably including San Antonio and Corpus down.
And you still haven't come up with nothing.
Just kind of work it out, and let the superintendent run it. You know, in the last week. of
You've met
June,
more than anyone else and you still have nothing?
We spent 18 hours of meeting time to be able to deal with this crisis and be able to figure out some way to handle it. Administration, you know, if you figure the old adage, 3 hours out of class for every hour in a class, administration probably spent 3 hours out of the board meeting to prepare for the board meeting, because it takes a lot of time. So everybody's working real hard to get everything done. This is a fiction saying there's no transparency, we're not keeping being informed. We have met more than any board.
There's no transparency. You're not keeping anybody informed. Not if it takes you 3 weeks to report.
And I think we have. And I commend the administration and the superintendent for taking the stance that we want to make it very clear. You know, we don't want to start and try to go on campus, because I think the community's not ready. Texas is just not ready.
Thank you. Ms. Drew?
I just want to echo the same thing. I know that we move maybe a little slower sometimes than people would like. We're cautious, we're patient. It's such an ever-changing landscape. We're trying to navigate safely through a lot of factors that are changing
No viable
daily.
plan. Nothing.
And it may seem like sometimes that we're not moving fast enough.
You're
or we're
not,
moving
true.
in the ways that people would like for us to move.
You're not.
It's not because we can't or we don't or we're not thinking about it. I don't think any of us think about anything else. There's nobody in this room, weekends, late at night, early in the morning, constant text, phone calls. Dr. Gutierrez, you and your team, you've been on every conference call, I think, that's been in the state. And I've talked to people in other districts, and the thing they always say is that they're watching BISD because we're deliberate, we're careful, we're stable.
No, they're
We
watching
think a
Port
lot
Isabel,
before
Drew,
we act,
because they're
and a lot of
decisive.
people are following their
Leadership.
lead. And it's not for lack of caring. It's not.
You
for
don't
lack of
care.
trying. We're all out there trying to do it. Sometimes everybody doesn't see all the wheels that are moving, but those wheels are moving, the gears are moving, things are happening all the time. And our primary focus, everybody in this room and everybody in this district, is to do what's right for our students, do what's right for our employees, for our community, for our parents. this is overwhelming. I mean, nobody's been through anything like this, and it's all anybody thinks of, and we all dwell on it. We're all trying to do the right things.
No, you're
We make
not.
mistakes once in a while, I'm sure. I know we have. There's things that maybe we could have done better, could have done differently.
Everything.
We're learning as we go. But we have people above us that we have to work with. We have a governor, we have a commissioner, we have a county judge, we have a mayor. We're trying to work in collaboration.
No,
and
you're
they're doing
not.
the
You
best
spit
they
in the
can,
mayor's
too.
face.
And I just, sometimes we don't jump forward with plans. There are districts that have, and sometimes those districts have to pull back then because things have changed. I personally have liked the approach we've followed, which is to take things slow, look at what everybody's doing. We're all reading.
Look at what
articles
Port
all the
Isabel is
time.
doing. It's all you have to
We're
do,
reading
Drew.
articles between ourselves.
They did the right thing. Laredo did the
I
right
get the
thing.
news feeds all the time.
Mission did the right thing.
Education's on everybody's mind. Everybody wants to do what's right here. We don't want to make
No,
mistakes.
no,
We
no.
don't know how long
Your
this is gonna
priority is the
last. We wanna
money.
make sure that we provide the best education we can for our students. We want to make sure we get all our employees paid. We understand the sacrifices that everybody's making. Everybody is making sacrifices right now. And we hope that people understand that we have everybody's best interests at heart. And sometimes maybe we're not going to make the decision that they thought we should have made or in the way that it should be made.
They don't have a
But
plan,
we're
Gabby.
trying. We're doing the best we can. And Dr. Gutierrez, how many times a day or how often you're on conference calls constantly? Is that correct?
That's correct. We have conference calls with the commissioner Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have conference calls with the Texas Urban Council of Superintendents. We have conference calls here locally with Region 1, with the judge. So there's been just so many conference calls that we have just to see how we're going to be managing this crisis and opening our schools. And a lot more to come because this doesn't stop. It's right now, everybody's trying to formulate a plan of action. That's where everybody's at, including ourselves.
No, Port Isabel already
Like
took
I said
action.
before, there's no right, wrong plan. We're just doing the best we can given the situation that we're faced in each week.
And I think that's what everybody needs to understand. We all need to be patient with each other, try to be understanding with each other. And I think that mindset will move us along, be calm, rational, and make the best decisions possible. And I applaud the administration. I know as a board member, I think about nothing else. I know my colleagues are the same. We're constantly reaching out to administration. I mean, the superintendent in 5 minutes' time, he'll have 10 texts from all of us. He'll have calls from all of us, and he's everyone.
And you
is
still
doing
got
what they're
nothing?
doing. And I hope that people have confidence and continue to support and realize that we're going to get through this. We're going to do the best thing. It's what a friend of mine says sometimes. The kids are waiting for the adults to get it right, and that's what we're trying to do.
You're a crazy
Thank
woman.
you, and I thank you, Dr. Cantu, for your presentation. But really, the most important thing that we're going to ask the community to do is please be patient with us. Please be patient.
Please be patient, Minerva.
That we're not
Please be
constantly telling the
patient.
administration,
Carlos, she wants us to be patient,
"Hey,
Carlos."
She's crazy, man. What do you be patient with? With whose lives are you going to be patient with?
So I got him from board members from Houston.
Whose lives are you going to be patient with?
All the people
And then Drew Brown is commenting, here's how many turtle
sent to us.
man over there, how many companies he's done. Who cares about that?
You
know?
That they're the ones that send the information and they say.
Why have they not
He's just
done what Port Isabel has done? Why they have they not done what other people?
And sometimes I turn to him and say, well, who said it? And I always say to him.
What the hell is she saying, that woman?
I don't know. She's getting the microphone out of her throat.
And it's correct, we did the right thing. Please be patient with us. We're here to serve you.
Be patient. Carlos, she wants you to be patient with her.
I'm not gonna be patient. I've got a kid who's gonna go to middle school. I'm not gonna take her to school because I'm not gonna be patient with these individuals who are gonna risk their kid's life. My wife, unfortunately, is an educator. She's forced to go. She has no choice to do that. You're not paid. But for a parent, I have every choice. My kid's not going to go to school because he don't know their head from their ass at this point. You know, but Drew Brown over there, King Drew Brown, you know, whatever you call her, Willy Wonka, is to Turtle King over there because he's been on a lot of conferences. Who gives a damn rat's butt? When? What has he done? He's done nothing for these individuals. He has done nothing for these our teachers. You know,
I'm gonna call Dr. Trevino to cover
psychological torture.
updates on
She wants you to be
COVID-19 on the
patient with her.
curriculum and instruction
She's
side,
stupid.
but TA is giving us the guidelines in that area, and so she'll cover those guidelines.
No,
The curriculum.
It is ridiculous, Erasmo. What's
Sorry,
going on?
I'm sorry, before she begins.
We're gonna have another meeting after this meeting.
Go
So
back
update
to
the
Mr.
stuff that
Kevin,
happened at this meeting?
the subject of us releasing information whenever you write a memo every time somebody tests positive. How have we communicated the importance of these positives be reported immediately to employees? Because you know, we always hear things in the community, right? And sometimes there's a delay in these messages, but sometimes I believe it's because when people test positive, they tell their family, friends, colleagues, everybody, and then they report to BISD. And then it appears that we're not being transparent.
You're not being transparent,
We're
Laura.
reporting whenever we're sharing whenever these employees self-report, correct?
Correct. I was having that discussion a couple of days ago with another administrator.
When that man's mouth is moving, he's lying.
I was
Yes.
gonna ask legal, and I'm glad you reminded me of that now, and we're here to discuss that. That I'm gonna have to write an administrative.
And that's why we're not asking for names. We're asking for numbers.
Information.
Being tested, and
When that man's mouth is moving, he's lying. Yes.
I'm gonna have to write it.
And that's why we're not asking for names. We're asking for
Already like an incident where someone got tested, did not notify anyone, and that individual went to visit a school and was around people, and then later that day, he brings it up that he was tested that morning, and now he's positive. But someone like that should have never been anywhere else, but should have been already in self-quarantine. So we're gonna have to write, not a policy, because this is not a policy matter. It's more of an administrative procedure on this new COVID-19, just procedures on employees, how they need to report to us immediately, whether they're being tested or they're under quarantine because
They have no
family member in
plan.
the hospital had it, so that we
No
know,
plan,
and we
Carlos.
also follow up on that employee, what they need to do in the workplace. That's
No, they don't know. They're clueless. Not only that, these people are giving the medical advice. They should have Pones out there. She's the one in charge of BISD. She's the one that's supposed to be there. She's the nurse. She's the main nurse of the whole school district, and they're leaving her. They're leaving her out of everything. I mean, that's
So sometimes
ridiculous.
people say, well, why is the administrator taking so long to let the superintendent know? But unbeknown to us, that person has yet to make contact with their supervisor to let them know, but their friends and their neighbors have already run with that information, because right now, people have nothing but free time on their hands because of the situation we're in. So yes, we need to be very conscientious, and when we do look into it, find out if in fact they were trying to make contact and hadn't been able to make contact, but yet the voices around them had already run and told the rest of the community. So we need to make sure that we look at every case individually, because you never know how it got out before it got to administration.
The expectation of that any employee who's under quarantine, tested, and now he's positive, like someone like that should have never been anywhere else, but should have been already for us then to take measures. So we're gonna have to write a policy, because if this is not a policy matter, it's more of an administrative procedure. Are legal to work on an administrative procedure just on
Yeah.
COVID-19 testing and.
Thanks for coming.
Dr. Gutierrez,
Can you push the button, sir? Remember?
sorry, on that same issue in terms of somebody who does test positive and then starts getting sick. I've had a lot of people ask me, well, is there going to be a special sick leave for this, family medical leave, what's
Nothing.
gonna be happening.
Nothing.
All that stuff, and can you make sure that we get something out to the troops?
She's gonna present all
Now
that.
we're gonna segue into
Okay,
Dr.
good.
Trevino's presentation.
No
That was-
plan.
I don't have any.
None.
No plan.
Perfect to bridge into her presentation. So I know Dr. Trevino's been.
Eddie's right.
waiting for us,
There's
but
already campuses
go
that
ahead,
are
Dr.
100%
Trevino.
online.
You know where the questions are coming from now.
That's right.
Yes, or toward the latter part, so that'll keep you all awake. So,
Another
good
clue.
afternoon.
Oh, she just coughed in her hand and took her hair with the gloves on. Really?
My presentation today is just to give you all a continued update of how TA is expecting schools to reopen. This presentation is based on information gathered as late as July the 9th, which was last Thursday. Excuse me. So school districts, this is according to TA, must open schools to offer face-to-face instruction
Oi?
and may include synchronous and asynchronous at-home learning options.
Oh my gosh,
Schools
man.
must reopen and provide instruction on the first day to students, ultimately, ensuring that there's appropriate hygiene practices. So again, this is a TA mandate as of July the 9th, that school districts are expected to provide face-to-face instruction if the parent so chooses. If the parent chooses to keep the child at home, then they have that option as well.
Of course we do.
Schools are required to comply with the governor's orders of wearing masks, and Dr. Cantu mentioned that. So school masks will be required of students, teachers, staff, and visitors, or a face shield at all times. Exempt from the requirement is based on age appropriateness or when participating in extracurricular activities. We all know that we have special needs children that may not be able to tolerate a face mask or a shield, so we need to be cognizant of that and provide those supports. Or if students are playing the extracurricular, the sports. School districts will be requiring or to submit a plan of action to TA, and that plan of action we will bring to the board for your approval on how we plan to open up our school doors. That plan needs to be submitted to TA by September the 1st. School districts will be given the flexibility to phase in the students during the first 3 weeks from the first day of school. Our school board, you all have approved 2 calendars. One we approved in January, and then in late June, you approved a second. That second plan was based on data and information that we had at the time. And you all moved the start date to August 11th, if you all remember that. Well, the school, TA is saying, well, you have 3 weeks now that you can play with in order to bring students back.
Play with.
For that reason, we can say, let's try 25% of the kids to come back. Let's try 30%. What would that look like? But if a parent is insisting on bringing the child back, TA is saying we must open the doors and allow them in. They don't have to. And again, this is right now TA's TA's directives. Parents will have to commit to one learning platform and may switch at the end of the grading period. So a parent may choose, I want at-home learning, or I want
They have nothing.
face-to-face instruction.
We already heard all this.
She's stupid. What if you start, let's say a parent decides that they want to have the kid go to school, and then there's people that are sick. They can't opt and say, now I want to do it online. They're going to be forced to go to school regardless of the virus spread.
Face-to-face, or how many parents want completely distance learning. So we're going to get,
With that said, I want to make sure that they understand, we are still looking at doing 100% distance learning. But in case we're told no, and I do not think they're going to say no, this is what we're going to do. So make sure that when you present what you present, put in that if we cannot do distance learning, this is what we're doing. That way we won't confuse
TA
it.
continues to tie our hands to funding and having us have to do face-to-face.
She's a liar.
We want to rest the community, or rest assured to you and the community, that we're going to be ready either way.
No.
Yes, the ISD's #1 and first priority is to have.
Port
distance
Isabel's
learning.
#1.
But if it's tied to funding and they say you have to do face-to-face, parents will have that option to switch.
No plan.
And have face-to-face.
She said that there was no option to switch until the end of the grading period.
Reiterating, campuses are recommending to have hand sanitizers or hand washing stations with appropriate soap and water at the entrance and in each classroom. Campuses need to have systems to have students engaged in supervised hand washing for at least 20 seconds. So we need to actually watch the students
Supervised hand washing?
wash their hands for 20
Good luck.
seconds, initially, so we can train them. And student-teacher gatherings, like mentioned earlier, reducing the faculty meetings. We do not want to eliminate faculty meetings. That is certainly not our intent or TA's intent. Even whether we go full-blown, hopefully distance learning, or we have a little bit of face-to-face, then our teachers can still have faculty meetings with their administrators remotely. Even if they would be in a face-to-face situation, they could be in their classrooms having a faculty meeting. So we're not saying eliminate them, but we are saying to reduce them and to have opportunities for them to be remotely done.
And another note, real quick, the hands, you're gonna have the teacher supervise the student washing their hands. And now
Another task for the teachers.
and you get up and you put something down and you're gonna go to your desk, you wash your hands. If you get up again, you're gonna wash your hands again. With that said, I know, I wanna stress that we look at the kind of soap that we're using, because some children have very sensitive hands, or if you wash your hands 60 times a day, your hands will know it by the end of the week. So I just wanna make sure that we're very conscientious that what we do use is something that's not gonna be harsh, but something that the district can afford to make sure we take care of both children, because I'm
San
getting
Diego,
emails and
Los
texts of
Angeles,
some people saying
opening remotely,
their children
100%.
have allergies, they have skin illnesses, or rosacea, or some kind of illness to their skin. They have to be very careful. So we want to ensure the public that we're going to make sure we take care of that, so it can be done safely and not cause the child more problems.
I'm empathetic of that. I have a daughter whose hands, because she's used so much hand sanitizer, is flaking.
I have a son too, so I know exactly, and he's been washing his hands 100 times a day since he was born. So yes, and we figured out what to buy, and that problem is solved. But I want to make sure that we're very conscientious of that. Mr. Garcia?
And again, we are pushing for 100% distance learning. But again, should the state continue
Shoot
on
the state.
and state that we have to offer face-to-face, have we identified those teachers that are willing to be the first teachers to come online and go into the schools to offer that face-to-face instruction?
We have not made that identification.
For what? They're going to force them to. Why would they want to identify anybody?
Administrators and teachers can
She's an idiot.
evaluate in the best interest. I mean, are there underlying conditions for a particular teacher, their knowledge of technology? Do they want to? And we did survey the teachers at the end of the year, if you all recall. So we have an idea of who would like to do distance learning, but we may have, I mean, hopefully
Erasmo,
be the
Yeah.
platform that the state,
talking about HIPAA violation. She wants to know what the underlying conditions of a teacher is before they want to come into the school.
it'll have to
That's
be.
a HIPAA violation. They're not supposed to be asking whether they're diabetic, high blood pressure, have asthma, cancer, stuff like that. She's an idiot.
Two is, have we identified someone at
It's only convenient for them to throw out the HIPAA violation. Oh my gosh.
That's something that we need to make sure that each campus has somebody that they can reach out instead of trying to reach
They
out.
only have one nurse per campus at Asma. Sometimes they share their nurse between two campuses. Who's going to do
Very few
all these requests that they're putting out?
And I know that we do have an identified teacher on campus that is the identified IT teacher that can support the staff.
El gargajo de COVID.
That. And so
Oh my Lord.
they do have one person. Is that going to be enough? Possibly not. I mean, you see our technology problems, even, just trying to Zoom with individuals that are trying to do open or comments. And so we recognize that there's going to be issues. I mean, our bandwidth is not where it needs to be. Our hotspots are not perfect, but we're going to try to support our
Yeah, they should
students.
have listened to you 3 months ago. It would have been ready.
Mr. Garcia, if I may, and members of the board, one of the agenda items that we have in this booklet for board to consider is allowing me, the superintendent, like you did back in the spring, to make some decisions.
More money?
As far as
Allow them. Don't allow them.
the district
Vote against it.
will run smoothly and
They're gonna allow it like they did the changing of the grades, giving the superintendent the ability to put these grades, and he created a fiasco for the counselors and teachers. You lost the audio? You lost the audio?
Campus, this is who we call if we have issues. I think that would be helpful.
Ay, Drew.
Campus. I don't know if this is the place.
It's gonna suck up to the superintendent again. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Hotline as well. Something that.
I'll bet you lunch.
And get assistance possibly too. And I don't know what the logistics of that would be, but we certainly have the counseling staff and maybe we could put something out there because I have heard from parents and things that there are students, of course, that are struggling with all this. And if they could talk to someone on the phone, I think it would be helpful sometimes. We're going to have to find ways to offer those kinds of services in different ways.
And if I may just add to that as well, I know I've spoken to Dr. Gutierrez about maybe
How
potentially
closely?
having a safety committee meeting soon.
Up on the turtle.
Moon.
Efforts, even for employees. I've spoken to the chief of police in Brownsville, and he was sharing with me that we've had a suicide, 2 suicides per day since COVID happened here in Brownsville, since March. So it's not, this is something that, I mean, people are all having a difficult. Had a suicide, 2 suicides per day since COVID. This to will pass.
And if I can piggyback on that, you're very correct, because anxiety is a real issue. Anxiety is a real condition. It's a chemical imbalance. And unfortunately, in our society, and I can say this for the whole country, they look
Anxiety
at
is not a chemical imbalance. It's all the bullshit that they're putting the teachers through. That's what's giving the anxiety.
Issue when we have people that don't know how to deal with it. And then we have this pandemic on top of everything. I think that's an excellent idea to have some kind of a hotline where someone can just
Shut
Forget about the hotline. Shut the schools down. Make it a distance learning. That'll take away all this anxiety.
their world's falling apart, and we can't just brush it off as, oh, you'll get over it. No, we have to be there for them.
Oh, shut
To
up,
listen to them,
Minerva.
To be able to either, if they're angry and they want to fight, you fight with them. They want to cry, you cry with them. They want to laugh, you laugh with them. And then you bring them down.
They do have a humongous budget.
They're going to be okay. And we really need that because it's a huge issue that is being ignored. And I'm sorry to say that a lot of the medication for this condition, the side effects are 100 times worse than the condition itself. So people don't take
Oh my God.
medication.
We got Dr. Phil now.
Ahora,
We got
ahora
Dr. Phil.
doctora la vieja.
Very important.
Sí.
Thank you for bringing that up.
No, she got her doctors in Mexico. Like,
Ahora es doctora la idiota.
And
Vieja estúpida.
the anxiety is coming from you guys not making the right choices, which is distance learning. Keep the teachers at home. Keep the bus drivers paid. Keep the monitors. Keep the counselors, the nurses, everybody on payroll. There's plenty of money for it.
Counseling and, the suicide. Last week, there was one day where there were 47 names in the obituaries in the Brownsville Herald. I've never seen that in my life. This morning, there are 13. every day this week.
There's gonna be more if you open up the schools.
Just every day. One of them today was an employee of mine who died. I think it's COVID related, but related in the sense that she couldn't get some medical care. She needed to go into the hospital.
This meeting just took another 2 hours, right?
And so when you're dealing with the counseling and the component of it, we need to look at.
The counselors didn't get a raise, remember, Phil?
And
The nurses didn't get a raise, Phil.
whatever else is going on, because people are giving
The
up,
diagnosticians didn't get a raise, Phil.
at different ages. Not everybody's dying of COVID, but it's all COVID related because of the desperation and the isolation. As human beings, we need each other. That's what keeps us alive. That's what makes us something. But anyway, I just wanted to tap into that.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Tavini?
The transportation part, Dr. Cantu already addressed as well, as the visiting of schools. With the staff, I want to assure you all that professional development will be given to teachers on all the COVID special considerations and things to look for and how to handle them. Because one, it's required, and two, we want them to be very well prepared if and when the children come back. So other state mandates that they're making very clear are that districts must require teachers and students to self-screen
Just self-screen.
each day. And districts must also screen all visitors. So those posters that Dr. Cantu referred to, they need to be available. We need to be ready to ask. Or when teachers are
How's your special ed population gonna self-screen themselves?
available for them. Confirmed cases, again, the school must notify the local health department. The schools must close off the area heavily used by the confirmed individual, and schools must notify all staff and parents of students if a lab confirmed COVID-19 case is identified. And so
Oh
the
my
state right
God.
now is giving us those two options: open up the building face-to-face or do distance learning. Again, I just want to share with anyone that's listening the differences, because if in fact parents will make a decision, whether it's 3 weeks into the year or it's by August 11th, parents will have up to 2 weeks before the first day of instruction to change their mind and to select a platform. Beginning tomorrow, we will be starting to call
That's
parents.
right, Cindy.
If we start and you have an option, what would you like? Face-to-face, or are you going to want distance learning? So we want them to understand what this looks like. Face-to-face is right here, right now, teacher, traditional, they're live.
That's right, Christy.
Monday through Friday. So students will adhere to a specific schedule provided by the school, and they will be physically present in the classroom.
Erasmo, can you imagine the workload these counselors are gonna get?
Crazy.
Whether they can choose or not? Can you imagine? Just ask the counselors how bad it is right now. Now you're gonna give them an option to whether you're gonna come in, you're not gonna come in, you're gonna do this. Man, the counselors are gonna have some.
No, they don't want to talk to the counselors because the counselors are the experts and they don't take advice from the experts.
Jesus.
I mean, Minerva Peña is their expert.
To the teacher.
Oh my gosh.
Like there's breaking news and it's happening right now.
The workload they're gonna put on these individuals, man.
Teacher, and I'm teaching, and my students are in their homes and they're listening at the same time. So teachers will be taking attendance at a specific time, and that's where we could get ADA for them. So it could be done distance learning or
On campus,
over the
Erica.
phone, or asynchronous. Asynchronous is I did my lesson last night because I'm a night owl. So I recorded myself from 11 to midnight. When my kids were asleep, I recorded myself, and my kids can listen to me the next day at 8 in the morning, at 9 in the morning, whenever it's convenient for them. That is asynchronous, where you're
No
defining
plan.
the curriculum experience where the student is
None.
engaged in the learning material on their own time, whether it's also through the computer, an electronic device, or over the phone. We could get ADA as well for those type of instructional learning platforms. So
And
here's
if I
an
may, real quick,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
do have a lot of night owls right now. Lots and lots and lots and lots. And for some reason, and I know because I get calls at 2 in the morning and I
That's right,
can't
Belinda.
an emergency from someone in the family, and then I see it's someone I don't know, and sometimes I politely say, hello. It's, I'm sorry, were you asleep? And what do I say? but I respect the fact that there are night owls now. We have thousands of night owls, so thank you for this, because this is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Families without
Shut up,
internet
Minerva.
access or devices for distance learning are entitled to have their child also receive a quality education. So if we choose to expand the start time, those 3 weeks, and we're saying we're going to bring them in slowly, the governor or the commissioner is saying they need to have some form of instruction. Children, all children deserve it. And so if they don't have internet access or devices, could we still give them a
They should have been in place a long time
at
ago.
home through our packets,
3
instructions?
months ago.
And so we need to make sure that if parents are choosing to keep them at home and they don't have internet access, that we're able to still provide them instructional packets and perhaps receive them every week, as opposed to here's for 6 weeks, see you in 6 weeks. That way we can have contact with them more often, and so we can evaluate their progress. Because if, for example, a student is given the assignment for a week and they complete
Nothing,
all those
Noemi.
assignments, ladies and gentlemen, in a day, we're only going to get ADA for 1 day. So the teacher may be giving them homework from Monday through Friday, but they turn it in all on 1 day, we're going to miss out. So that's why we need to make sure that we're making contact with children every day. And the assignment
We need to make sure that we're going to force the teachers to work extra hard.
training
That's
going
what I'm
on
saying.
that particular day, and we can receive ADA.
Okay, do we know what percentage?
They
of
should.
the packets?
We don't until we ask the
For
parents.
what we've done, remember when we went
When
out?
we did the survey,
Yes, when we,
uh-huh,
for the spring semester? What
it
the
was
percentage?
more than 50% had requested instructional packets.
Mr. Garcia and then Mr. Cabo.
She's a liar.
We can, at some time, find out where we stand with electronic devices, the percentage, and are we going to need to purchase?
Oh, little Eddie, now you want to figure out how many we're
And
going to
we plan
need?
to give you all that information, because we're asking the parents if they need.
Oh my God.
What?
We're trying to do a study enough for, we may have 20,000 devices, but up-to-date devices, maybe just 11,000. So we need to know how many are really out there that are going to be.
We have
useful
4
to
weeks to
us.
start the
'Cause we may have a
school.
lot, but maybe old too.
And you don't know how many devices you have?
Our teachers as well.
This is when the vendors come in.
Let me try to be fast because I know the meeting's lasting a long time.
It's important information.
Very, very important. One thing, two questions. One, can we have the synchronous and face-to-face take place at the same time? The ones who are at home, because they want to be safe, they just, those big screens we're talking about, they'll be in the classroom reporting in at their own time.
Yes, sir. They can do both. I mean,
That's right, Kat.
Face-to-face and synchronous.
correct. Like,
When
for
they do
example,
reopen.
a
That's
student
all.
is
Yeah.
coming,
All I can say is they got to remember November, man. Remember November,
So
what you
I have
are
to be
hearing today.
where I can go in remotely, synchronous, and be getting ADA.
And the other thing is, I believe I talked to Dr. Cantu on technology about having a technology meeting because I know the city's. ready
That's
to
what they
move
want,
ahead.
Claudia. Both.
And whatever we can do to close the gap, especially in some parts of Brownsville, where you have probably a much greater percentage of people without internet, that we could look at a very short-term solution. Because they're talking now about being operating and working
Good.
in terms of district citywide Wi-Fi by the end of this year. So let's work on that.
And quick question. When a student packet request and be issued a tablet at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
So then what would be the objective of them having a tablet and having access to internet on the tablet, but then choosing to do a packet?
Well, the packet's going to be, for example, I couldn't log in, I'm having a lot of issues. I can still document the assignment, submit it, and I get attendance. Okay, I can certify that that child was in school and I can get ADA for the child.
And I agree with that, but my question is, if that child can't use that device in his area, would he not turn that in so we can give it to another student that can't and not just have that device idle at their home?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We will not be just distributing iPads to everybody or devices. It's upon request and on need.
Yeah, but see, that's
Nothing,
my
Edmundo.
question is, let's say I requested a tablet, but I want to do with the packet. With what? Because my tablet's not working. Okay, then you turn in your tablet so we can give you your packet and we can distribute this tablet to someone else in the city that does have access to Wi-Fi. and
She's so stupid.
You follow what I'm saying?
No,
that way
no one
the
can.
tablet doesn't stay home and get used for anything other than schoolwork. And if it's not working, then why would it be sitting there idle? It's not fair for those
Oh my gosh, man.
her child that has it. Well, it's not good to him, so it's not going to matter to him if he has it or not, because he doesn't have any connectivity in his area.
And those are situations that we'll have to address at the time that.
Well individualized.
Right.
And Dr. Timot,
Oye, Laurita.
for example, anybody can, and you correct me if I'm mistaken, but anybody from their home can download a packet. You don't have to not meet the need for, you can still have a tablet. I can have Wi-Fi at home. I can have
What have y'all been
computer,
doing all these meetings then,
and
Laurita?
still, I'm at liberty to download the packets because they're available.
Oh my
on the
Lord.
BISD website.
So stupid.
Correct. And we actually also found that a lot of parents liked the packets because the parents liked the packet. Because the parents wanted to make sure that this child was doing it because the parents were not comfortable themselves with the internet. But the students wanted to do it remotely through the internet, but the parents wanted them to see it. And so it kind
A
of,
little bit of both.
right.
Another question real quick here before we move on. As far as the devices, the hotspots, do we have a system in place to identify when we have more than one student, one child per household? So rather than be issuing
No, Laura.
two separate
You don't know like this?
one to one household?
Ay, Laurita.
Sometimes what we found from March to today is that we had, for example, 5 children in one household.
Oh,
We
my
only had
Lord.
one computer, and that was difficult because the mother was also going to college.
It took him
So
this
they all
long,
needed
Janita.
At the same time, one computer. And so I don't want to limit ourselves to saying one per household.
I don't mean the
Hotspots.
tablets, I mean the
Listen to the question.
We were just doing one.
per household.
Yes.
That's all you need, Laurita.
Question on the packet. I know, because on the packet, if they do all the work in one day, then you only get credit for 1 day for 8 days. But if you have a tablet, but you did the work in 1 day, you coming into the classroom through the tablet, that gives you credit ADA that the student was part of that teaching instruction, or because you did the packet, then that child can no longer be included for the rest of the week.
Oh, Minerva, you're such an idiot,
They'll
Minerva.
always be available for
Sorry about
them
that. My computer ran out of battery.
to synchronous or asynchronous. Okay, so students will have access to come in at any time.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I mean, students will be students.
They did have
And
enough
they-
time to prepare for this. They've done
they
nothing.
can just be hooky the next
Or
day.
either rest of the-
Right, but that's not good for the district. So is there a way of, if they have a tablet, but they finish all that work, how can we engage them for the rest of the 4 days so that we can still get credit and at the same time advance them in their work? Because if they did it all in 1 day, then this child
Sandy's
is very
right.
studious and we can move them along further. Is there something that a plan we're working on for that?
Care of the ADA.
PE.
But we.
Sit down, Laurita.
been looking at purchasing some software that we can monitor and say, you know what, this reading software, this math software, do it every day. And then we can log in some time for the students. Also, the districts are required to provide parents with notice of enrollment.
A veces sale con unas buenas de las dos.
Just digo, Mario.
So parents, based on July 9th data, right now, the commissioner is giving us 2 options, face-to-face
Back to the
or
last.
distance learning. So parents need to know that. We don't want to shy
Hello?
away from the fact that they have
Back
rights,
to the
right?
last one.
They should know as well.
Eh? Like
Right
like
now,
Mario?
as of July 9th,
No, the one right now. Just the one right before this one.
pursue distance learning
This one?
as their main
Exactly. Medical experts in the meetings. They do. They have bonus, but they don't bring her in. She's the nurse in charge of all nurses at the school district.
Right now, July 9th information.
Well, that's what Port Isabel did. Port Isabel brought in the experts.
And so.
And the experts told them
This is hard to-
remote learning is the only option.
You know, condense
That's
one.
right.
block.
That's 100% correct.
Very specific on the amount of minutes that we need in order to gain ADA. And so for pre-K through second, right now, they're looking at a full day of pre-K if we do face-to-face, right?
If we do face-to-face,
we would determine the
you're
start
not
time
going to
and
do
the end time.
face-to-face. No
So we
face-to-face.
have Pre-K through second, complete daily assignments through asynchronous. The students in pre-K through second, although we tried it during summer school and we felt that the students
Normie's
did
right.
pretty good with synchronous, the state is not recognizing synchronous for grades pre-K through second for ADA. They want the student is working on their ABCs today.
Oh,
The
my
student is
Lord.
working on their numbers. They're working on the schwa sound or the
Schwa.
long vowel,
Schwa,
short vowel,
schwa.
whatever. They
Schwa.
want the actual documents. They're not saying synchronous would be a form of requesting ADA. For third through fifth, we're not recommending the 90 minutes, but I want to be transparent that this is an option of going just half days. They're no longer requiring breakfast and recess to be included as part of the 90 minutes. They want 90 minutes completely of instruction for half days. For third through fifth, 180 minutes for a full day. And right now they're saying you can go face-to-face, synchronous, or
No, está bien tonta.
asynchronous. And certainly remote learning for
Ciérrale,
everybody.
Laura.
If you do remote learning, it's not necessarily with the times. The 6 through 12, 120 minutes for half a day and 240 for a full day. I want to make sure that I impress upon you all that the minutes do not need to be consecutive. TEA is very cognizant that it's very hard for somebody to sit for 6 hours, right? Or whatever the case may be, 240 minutes. That's a long time for a student to sit. And so they're saying you can break it up. You can do an hour, take a 30-minute break, come back and do another hour, take a 30-minute break. And so they're being flexible with that. Certainly BISD is wanting to do distance learning. That's our number one first proposal. But if we had to start
Son una
with the
vergüenza, Sandra.
face-to-face, then we're recommending the full day in order to get funding. And then we would do synchronous and asynchronous with the 240 minutes for a full day, 180 for third through fifth, and
Vergüenza.
K through second. It's just complete daily assignments.
So,
So somebody earlier mentioned what kind of platforms are we looking at having? Certainly in the age that we're at, we're recognizing, and based on the history of our teachers from March to May,
they
a
don't
lot
care
of
about the
them say,
kids. Of
"You know
course,
what?
all they
This
care about is the
way
money.
It's going to be from now on. Even if the students came face to face,
Nothing is being
we
decided,
wanna do
Lani.
some form of
Nothing.
blending. We know that in colleges, that's going to
Sorry.
be critical. So if we want to truly prepare our kids to be college and career ready, we need to do a blended kind of learning. So if we do face-to-face, we're still going to do a blended kind of learning where kids will be doing stuff remotely. If we do remote synchronous, where the teacher is teaching, whether in her home,
Shut up,
or whether
Nana.
in her classroom,
Shut your mouth.
students are in their home. This is available for third through eighth grade. The platforms we will use is Seesaw for the lower grades, Google Classroom for the upper grades, and Canvas certainly for our dual classes and AP classes. So that's just information that you all requested, as well as for asynchronous. If a teacher is recording themselves and pre-recording themselves, they'll use Seesaw, Google Classroom, and Canvas. Professional development has been immense, and we're very, very
I can't
proud that
either.
our teachers have been so open and willing to learn as much as they can. We feel confident that the teachers will be more prepared
It's crazy,
come
Daddy.
August if we choose to go and we're able to go distance learning. I can, please understand that your teachers have been amazingly very welcoming to learning themselves and being lifelong learners and picking up these platforms and running with it. For our AP dual and CATE courses, very hands-on. So a CATE course is not just something that you can do through Google Classroom and things. So they'll be using Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, instructional packets, of course, is for all. AP course online, dual enrollment online, and Apex. Now, you also talked about.
Hold on, Dr. Trevino,
Yes,
go back
ma'am.
to the platforms a minute. So are teachers pretty proficient now on all these platforms? We've offered plenty of training.
Hundreds and
Okay.
hundreds of staff development, that everyone is not at 100%, no, but from where they started to where they are today, grown by leaps and bounds. And I think people and teachers are more comfortable. If we choose to go distance learning, I'm confident that they're
No,
gonna.
teachers are more comfortable. They haven't even asked the teachers. They're just forcing stuff down their throats.
So when we offer professional development, what platform do we use? Is it Zoom or Teams or what are we using?
Actually, the trainers are really good. They can mix it up so the teachers can
Platform is through the teachers.
the multiple
That's the
platforms.
platform they want to use.
The Microsoft Teams and the Google Classrooms.
Okay, good. I'm glad to see this. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So calendars, you all got a larger copy of it, but because things are changing on a daily basis, and so the last calendar that was approved started August the 11th.
They
And if we
did
choose to
nothing.
extend it, because we don't know where the pandemic is going, and hopefully the slope will start going down.
They know where it's going. It's going to BISD classrooms.
3 weeks. We're looking at possibly starting, the first calendar is August 24th. That does take us to mid-June, to June the 9th as being the last day. And then, of course, if we start on August the 24th, remember those additional days school year that we could get funding for? That would be cut down to 24 days because of the fact that we're pushing it back. And we need to, the only way we qualify is to the end of June. We can't go into July. And if we start August the 30th or 31st, excuse me, we would get 20 days of the additional days school year. So that's just information for you all, things that maybe you want to consider, that the school district is looking at possibly taking advantage of those first
La
3
pura
weeks
verdad.
that the commissioner said we could push back the start of the year. And if that's the case, we wanted to be prepared because we still are responsible for meeting the 75,600 minutes of instruction.
Oh my God, man.
And so we just wanted to let you know that the superintendent is on it.
Oh yeah, he's on a turtle. He's on a damn turtle.
On the turtle.
That's what he's on.
That we want to extend.
He's on the turtle.
Please. And Dr. Gutierrez, I know we spoke about this earlier, but if we're going to be given permission to do 100% remote, we can start with the
Permission from who,
that we
Minerva?
originally said. Am I correct?
That's
From
correct.
Trump. From Trump.
Be something
So
where they
stupid,
just
Carlos.
have part in face-to-face,
Permission from who?
in-person, and part remote. But if it comes back and we're allowed to get 100%,
Oh, man, you can't make this shit up.
and in May, the way the teachers have voted on that calendar, am I correct?
Correct. If we go full-time distance learning, then we can keep the current calendar. The option, Dr. Trevino's
Oh
presented
my
was to
God.
extend it 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and this
Oh my gosh.
consider
They still have nothing, Carlos.
La boca, René. Cállate la boca. Nobody wants to hear you.
meant that we have to bring
Not
in.
even the turtle lady.
We don't have a choice. The state is forcing us to do it. Otherwise, it's tied to funding. Then we would like to extend the starting date a little bit further into August, just to see how things
You're right, Nico.
go as far as the crisis. I mean, it's 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if it's going to change a lot, but at least it brings a little better peace of mind from everyone to that we're doing everything humanly possible.
Oh
also to
my
try to
gosh.
stretch out the starting date. If we have no choice but to bring in the kids, stretch it out towards the end of August as far as we can go. And then if we don't have a choice at that time to bring them in, then we can bring them in. But at least we're already looking at 2 options of calendars. And again, this is all information that we're giving out there.
Oh my
This
Lord.
is what we're laying it out. We're paving the way to everyone to know out there, the community who's listening. We're paving the way that we have a plan and that we are.
You
moving
have
in the
no
right direction.
plan.
No decisions are being made here other than information items
Yeah,
that everyone.
no decisions are being made. That's the problem, you idiot.
To be as proactive as possible.
You're not being
We
proactive.
can be at this time.
Everyone else is being proactive.
Yes,
Eso, Mario.
In case we have the worst case scenario, we don't get approval,
Correct,
this would buy us time.
correct.
Oh my gosh. You had 3-4 months.
Starting school.
Stupid. Stupid.
Erasmo, I want them to say that they're buying time on the people that passed away. The people that passed away are BISD family members.
Doing it, that's
We're
what
buying what time?
I'm showing you this.
These people have no more time to buy.
We have.
They passed away because the stupid direction from the
We will
school
have
board and the superintendent.
coming weeks, but
What time are they trying to buy, man? On whose back? On whose life?
who's listening out there? We're trying to do
Oh
our
my
best
God.
to have a good plan in place,
You
whichever way.
they still don't have a plan in place? Get off the damn turtle.
And now people see
Too many degrees.
how it's going to develop in the next coming weeks.
Thank you. Mr. Cowan?
Yeah, Doctor, have you all investigated at all the possibility of having schools start at different times? High school start earlier than middle
Oh,
school.
Philip.
But yes, well, and I believe maybe if Dr. Trevino might touch base a little bit on that in her presentation.
Oh my
But definitely we're
God.
gonna have to stagger the starting.
Hey, don't touch base on anything, man.
They have no plan, buddy. Nothing.
You know what he should say is they have too many
And also split schedule.
top heavy administrators there, is what they should say.
And yet, once you what used
The
to be
plan should be how to get rid of them.
went half a day.
I went to school from 1 in the afternoon to 6.
Yeah.
Who cares, Minerva?
It's been done before. I mean,
Seniors from 6 to 12.
And that doubles the size of your high school right immediately because, now you have half of the, but my other question is, doing all these different varieties of teaching, the synchronous, asynchronous, and face-to-face, I don't think we have enough teachers to do it. How are we gonna do it?
No,
We do have teachers. Just don't want to go over there with. They're gonna-
That's a good point. But I'm glad that I'm hearing everything from the board, because that's what these presentations are all about, is laying it all out, giving you. all
Oh,
the
shut
information.
up.
And then as we move on in the next coming weeks.
That's true, Christy. That's gonna keep saying.
The director of nursery BISD has her master's in public health. This is for her forte. She's not even there, Carlos.
For sure.
That's bonus. She should be the first one. They should be directing all these questions to her. Get her professional opinion whether the school should open or should go completely online. And I'm gonna guarantee you, if she's competent enough to do the right thing, she's gonna say online.
Just
She's gonna go kiss ass with the Turtle King. Then of course she's gonna say, well, it's whatever he says.
plans depending on the scenario that the state mandates.
No, you're not being proactive, idiota.
Continue. Did you have a question?
It's so impressive
Just a comment.
how everything they say
I mean,
are our words.
we need to prepare, and
The voice of the teachers is AOBE.
prepare for the unknown, the possibility of teachers wanting to retire.
Are they gonna force the teachers to retire? They force them back. You watch. That's what he's saying.
They waiver that, that will affect them. Should they submit to retire?
Wow, I can't believe we're listening to this crap.
They need to get penalized.
Did he just say that?
They need to
Oh,
get
teachers!
penalized that choose to retire.
Largensen.
All this, because I think there's gonna be some that might be contemplating taking that route.
Because they're concerned for their life, you idiot.
And I'm sure that's something we prepare for, because every year we've had stuff that do that, not as many. And administration, I'm sure, is working on that to make sure that we have some people to fill in and new teachers waiting to get hired somewhere, because the openings aren't there. We're not hiring anyone, but if the openings should come, because teachers do retire, then the district will jump on, take that very seriously and fill in those gaps and make sure that the teachers that do retire get their benefits and are properly retired with everything that is forthcoming to them.
He just said they're gonna force them to retire.
The beginning of the year registration and back to school procedures, we will be contacting the parents, and you're going to see that survey right now. The families will fill out that survey, and the master schedule is going to reflect both synchronous and asynchronous remote learning. So I know our master schedulers, bless their hearts, will be working really, really hard, because they're going to have different schedules.
You're right, Frank.
Especially for our secondary kids. And so all teachers will continue to do the blended hybrid learning for face-to-face or to continue to do remote learning. But all schools will be provided with training on good hand washing conditions and social distancing. I want to take you on to that survey really, really quick because we want the parents. So parents, if you're out there listening, tomorrow you will be filling this out. You will need
Another
to fill that
survey.
out for each
No
child that
fregues.
you have. So we want the parent or the guardian's first and last name.
Oh
their
my
email, if
gosh.
they have one. Student's first name. And
No.
Student.
Another one?
Right? Because that could be different. So we may have multiple Maria Garzas. So it's important that we have a date of birth, the grade level that they're expected to be in this coming year, the school that they will be attending, and if they're receiving additional services like bilingual or special education. This is a question where it comes in. Are they going to want to do traditional? Because right now, that's what the state is asking. Not that that's what we want, but they want to hear from the parents. So do they want traditional
my
face-to-face?
gosh.
Do they want at-home synchronous? And we explain that this is just for 3rd through 12th grade only, that the learning that happens at home is real time. The teacher is live and the students are learning at the same time. And it's in English and Spanish. At-home learning asynchronous, this is for pre-K through 12, and students learn the same material at home at different times because the student accesses lessons pre-recorded with a required submission date. And so we're going to ask the parents to identify which learning mode they would like. They will have to fill this out for each one of their children.
My
And it is
God.
coming into the campus. So all the students that go to Hudson, Miss Ayala will get those results. If they're at Hannah, Miss Lambari will get those results. Then we also ask the parents, will your child need transportation to school? No transportation needed. Yes.
Another
morning only.
survey.
Yes, afternoon only.
Oh
or
my
yes, both
God.
morning and afternoon.
Oh my
We will-
gosh.
That way, transportation department can also work at facilitating their routes and making it easy as they prepare. We also ask if BISD utilizes a staggered drop-off or pickup schedule, will you be able to pick up your child? Or, because maybe they're starting work at 8, and to them, having a staggered schedule is not convenient.
Hey, where did they get the chick from? Edinburgh?
About
Edinburgh. Something.
if the child is in need of an electronic device,
Another survey.
or if your child
This is what they've been doing for the past 3 months.
short and simple,
Another survey for you. That's the plan.
as we make
Oh my gosh.
coming school year.
Oh my Lord.
Dr. Trevino, how would that be disseminated? How will parents receive that?
We're going to do it online, but we're also going to be making phone calls.
Oh.
More work for the people who don't want to be there.
Because 2 weeks before, we can ask this survey, but they can still change their mind. If we do not have the distance learning approved. If we do, we're good to go.
Excuse me, real quick, and you'll start doing this how?
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, expect the survey, folks.
That will be done through the campuses?
Yes.
Direct outreach from the campus to the parents?
Correct. These will be found in each.
Gabriel is
campus
100% right. And I love your hair. Oh my God.
We all use the, hotspot, and they use the term punto de acceso. And I don't know, I speak Spanish all day long, and people usually kind of use the English term Wi-Fi, but if there's some Spanish equivalent that's used locally or in Mexico, whatever, I'm not sure if people know what punto de acceso is.
So you're-
Now they call him ignorant.
No, I just, why
I
don't you
mean,
get
we'll
with,
take it. We can take your
you,
feedback.
just on that part, because do you need, hotspot, they may not know what a hotspot is, but they, the ones that don't have Wi-Fi probably don't know what a hotspot is. But everybody pretty much knows what Wi-Fi is. And I think in Spanish, they use the term Wi-Fi also. Whatever else it is.
Whoopee!
You know,
Like Google
we can
Maps.
use both, you know, put it in parentheses or something. I'm not sure people get what punto de acceso is.
Okay,
Oh
I
my
appreciate
God.
that feedback. sir.
And it's Wi-Fi, because in Spanish, how do you say baby shower?
Yeah.
Baby shower.
Baby shower!
Seriously, it's because it's an
Baby shower!
Oh, my.
Yeah, we're so concerned about el baby shower.
And when
Sí,
you
sí.
El baño del bebé. Oh my God. El baño del bebé.
And so social distancing and safety. And so the state has, made some, you know, I guess they treaded the waters and are going a little backwards on this with the social distancing. They never actually said if we're going to be able to do social distancing in a classroom. And so I think some of you have already realized that we would have to double the number of teachers. We couldn't afford it if we were going to do
No,
face-to-face.
administrators.
And we don't have the room, but we don't have the staff as well. And so social distancing markers will be placed throughout the building, like what side of the hallways are you gonna walk, the 6 feet apart, you know, and things like that. So social distancing markings will be in the entire building. I mean, we're hoping to have the old classroom not look like that, the new social classrooms to be a little more accessible. But again, the state is saying when it's applicable, right? If it's not, we're not able to do that, the schools and districts are not required. But of course, if we do face-to-face, we want to consider reducing the class sizes.
Oh my
if
Lord.
possible, to have a greater space between the students. Mark's 6 feet of space
Idiot,
to
it doesn't work.
always stay 6 feet apart in line.
Oh
and
my
other
Lord.
Times that they may be congregating. Discontinue self-service distribution in the cafeteria. Dr.
Baltasar
Gutierrez
Salazar,
talked about
Kathy.
having the meals in the classrooms. Implement countless pickup and delivery of meals and school materials, staggering the arrival time, utilizing posters and barriers to direct traffic, because we know that even outside the building and the drop-offs, if they want all students to enter through one entrance and everybody exiting another, the traffic jams may occur. So we're going to need signs outside as well. Entry points rather
They're gonna
than
qualify.
the same entry and exit spaces. That is just part of it. And just reminding everyone, we're going to recommend, and TEA also wants for principals to make daily announcements, reminding students about the hand washing, reminding students of the social distancing. So the principal is very influential in the lives of kids. Those of us that have been principal know that, like, you walk on water. So when the principal says it, kids want to do it. So daily announcements and social media. We're also constantly reminding our students and our parents about social media, through social media, about social distancing and hand washing and just keeping safe. This is small for you all to see, but I just wanted you to know that we do have a schedule already ready for elementary students.
El
So, for
Wi-Fi.
example, and our teachers that taught summer school already piloted
Yeah, he
this
flipped again.
schedule, and it worked beautifully for them. So, for example, the teacher would plan and prepare from 8 to 8:30. Then she would have about 60 minutes with the kids to do reading or language arts, synchronous. So the teacher would be in her home or in the classroom teaching, and the students would be live with them. And then the teacher would log off, and the students could do their independent work for another 20, 30 minutes. Then they would
Wi-Fi.
preparation time. Then the students would come back and do math for an hour. And then they would, and again, take a little
Baby
break to
shower.
or conference period. The students would be expected to go do PE, for example, outside or whatever the case would be. There would be lunchtime, and then there would be a schedule
El baby shower.
in order for us to be in compliance.
El
with the
baby
100
shower.
This would be an example of a middle school or high school.
El baby
For middle
shower.
school and high school, in order to alleviate the movement, the kids would only be going to 4
Me too.
periods in a day. So on Monday and Wednesday, they would go to first period, third period, fifth and seventh.
Huh?
And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they would go to second, fourth, sixth, and eighth. So we could get the times and they would be able to have their
Oh my
content
God.
taught, but they would only be going to 4 periods instead of moving at the secondary level 8, 9 times during the day. They would, and we're even considering not having the students move at all if we can, and maybe just have the teachers move. We're trying to work on that and seeing what that may look like. So we would have the kids not moving at all. So that would be presented in our action plan when we present that to you all. At the end of
When?
this week or next week.
Oh my
So I know
gosh.
this is really big for you all, so you may have.
Let's see.
Yes, no, hold on, sir. Okay, real quick, I was gonna say, the punto de acceso de Wi-Fi is the proper way to translate.
What about baby shower?
Wi-Fi, because hotspot is punto caliente. So the proper way to.
Punto caliente.
You all have it right.
I got your punto caliente, you idiot.
Yeah, what you need to do is add the Wi-Fi after the punto de acceso.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, Mr.
What trouble that I'm in.
In terms of electives, that's really gonna be, like advanced placement and other stuff here.
Jennifer, you're right.
You ought to be able to have more flexibility with remote learning blended in. So we're talking about young people that, some of them are adults, 18 years old, and they're juniors, and they're going to go another year and finish at 19. You ought to be able to have more flexibility. And if you're going to be talking to TEA, so that the child or the student is able to access those electives,
Remotely.
Because you can have your core and the classes don't move. That would make sense. But I don't want to,
No, wait me there.
Get better.
Of courses that we have. Because
And we do have it here, Mr. Cowan, that on Fridays, if you notice that Fridays was not with the core. So Friday students will report to their homeroom and learn asynchronous, utilizing the learning management system for 45 minutes for each subject. And then they can move to report to the
Jen,
athletics,
basically.
fine arts, or any support programs. So I know this is also,
Okay, before we leave and get to employees, I'm just worried about us running out of time, Dr. Gutierrez, because next week, I think the counselors, the APs, some of the librarians, these folks are coming back.
Duh.
I just don't, I'm a little worried about what we're gonna do. I mean,
They're coming back to nothing.
this year,
Worried about the time now, Erasmo?
we have the earliest.
Did she have over 3 months to figure that out?
Ironically, at a time when an early start date is the last thing in the world we need. And I don't mean to pressure you guys, but I am worried about how this is all going to work out. I know y'all are on it. I'm just expressing my concern.
Mr. Garcia?
I agree with Ms. Brown. And I think that we should consider moving the start date at a later date. I foresee that the state might be considering a shutdown sometime later this week or at the beginning of next week. Reason
No.
behind that, 2 things. Elections will be done. And 2, 4th of July, it's 14 days after 4th of July. So we would be bringing back our personnel during critical time that I think we should consider moving the start date later. That's my recommendation.
And with that said, I can see, but I do want to give the administration the option because of everything that's going on. And I really do see, because they said that the health people in your area are saying person, you can turn around and do complete remote. Then we should leave that option for the superintendent to do, because if we do 100% remote, we're not going to put anyone in danger in that point in time. And I honestly see the state moving in that direction, because now they're putting on the health officials, and the health officials are saying, do not do any in person. So
Then what are you waiting for, you idiot?
Have that at the back of your mind and make sure that we do the best. And I know that you have the best in mind for everyone here. So I see both of our concerns we all have, and let's just make sure, see if we can maybe rush TEA to give us an answer by tomorrow. Because that's what we're going to push for.
Yeah, Mr. Salazar, myself, we've been talking about this, and we're gonna speed it up to get a decision very quick and fast. You've given me the message that at any time I need this board for an emergency meeting, you're ready and
Yes.
available.
Yes.
So, who knows, we may meet sometime this week again. As soon as something critical like this comes, we will, call it in and have our meeting, so that way we can speed it up and start making some decisions and give everyone the definite direction where they need to go.
Instead of
That's the intent of this meeting, for us to discuss all of these items as we come back and open up the 2020-2021 school year.
Thank you.
Y'all so
Correct, Dr.
stupid.
Timmy?
And so now the employee rights and paid sick leave and expanded family and medical leave under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. So this is not something that BISD created. This is the law. Congress and the Senate both passed this. And so it was passed and became effective April 1st. And this goes into effect until December 31st. That doesn't mean that Congress can't go back and, extend the time. But right now, this Family First Coronavirus Response Act, FFCRA, or Act, they are saying it's effective from April 1st through December 31st. And so who's eligible? Our employees are eligible for this type of leave. Who qualifies? There's 6 reasons why somebody would qualify for COVID, this family leave, right? The Coronavirus Response Act. If you're a subject of a federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation order related to COVID. So if the federal, state, or local people quarantine you in isolation, then you qualify. You've been advised by your health provider to self-quarantine. So your doctor has told you to self-quarantine, you qualify. If you're experiencing symptoms seeking medical diagnosis, somebody cannot say, well, I have a fever and I'm not going in. They need to have a fever and I'm going to get tested because I have the symptoms. So it's an and. So they're experiencing symptoms, they qualify. They're caring for an individual subject to an order described in
what should be here.
they're taking
That's
care
this
of
dumb.
someone who was diagnosed with COVID, or they're caring for a child that they cannot leave with anybody else. They qualify due to COVID, right? Or is experiencing any of the substantial similar condition through the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So here we go. You get generally, you get up to 2 weeks, 80 hours. They're very specific, 80 hours. So that's 2 weeks to 14 days because the weekends are part of it. So you get up to 2 weeks for a full-time employee or a part-time employee, 2 weeks, that's equivalent to that, of paid sick leave based on higher of the 2, right, which is higher.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop their
You
show
get
and then we'll discuss it,
100%
Carlos. Hold on.
For qualifying reasons 1 through 3.
I am done with their stuff, Carlos. Carlos,
Nombre. I lost about 2 hours of my life right now, an hour and a half.
an hour and a half, Carlos. What did we learn?
Absolutely nothing. They're just gonna force the teachers to go back to school. That's what they want. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about the staff. They want to make sure they comply with ADA. They can give a rat's behind about what happens to our BISD staff or anybody related to BISD, because they get paid 100%. The one gets paid. The Turtle King gets paid for over 400,000, and the 2 deputy idiots get paid 180, 190,000. They don't care about anybody else.
It was, let me tell you, it was the stupidest meeting ever. And let me give you, no, but shut up. Let me give you my take on it, guys. They've had 4 months. They've had 4 months to have something in play. They have 4 months to prepare. To this day, they have nothing. That's what we learned today. They have nothing. They're still waiting for TEA to ultimately decide what happens to you and to your children. And let me tell you, we need for them to be proactive. Look at Port Isabel, just right here, 15 minutes away. Port Isabel became proactive and took action to guarantee the safety of their teachers, their staff, and their children. They have not done a damn thing. And as much as they were out there, and they are basically responding to everything we're saying. So los tenemos en corto. Oh, we're being transparent. You really think they're being transparent by going out there and sharing information that's 3-4 weeks old? That's not being transparent, guys. That's not being transparent at all. And then their other take, well, we care about individuals. You think they really, really care about our students, teachers, and staff? They have yet to acknowledge the death of our teachers. They have yet to acknowledge.
That's right.
They don't care. They just do not care. Now, we want to tomorrow, you'll have the opportunity as a parent to fill out a survey, another survey. Honestly, and to all the people that say, well, didn't you already fill a survey out where they asked you exactly the same questions that they had just asked right now? Entonces, which one is it? ¿Aquel no sirvió? ¿O no lo tienen? ¿O no les valió? And remember, folks, I said it's for nothing. You're going to fill out a survey for nothing. So which one is it, Carlos? ¿Aquel estaba bueno o este no estaba bueno?
Like the Brazil Herald is worthless.
Oh my
But
God.
what's the time? All it is just to appease to the majority of saying, okay, we are doing something. But like you said, it was for nothing. Now they're going to have another survey to replace the other survey that they had to see what they're going to do or what the parents want to do or how many kids are going to do what they're going to do. And then what? What good is that survey?
Yeah, all we learned was survey, baby showers, el Wi-Fi, and then we got to wash our hands 1,000 times a day.
And we're going to force we're going to force the teachers to tell the kids every day that.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? It's so funny, Carlos, because a lot of teachers, because of the comment that Phillips put out there, oh no, guys, you're going to be proud of us. Just watch us.
Just wait.
Go out here and we're going to take care of business. And what did they accomplish today, Carlos?
That's nuts.
They accomplished
nada.
Nothing.
More confusion, more anxiety, more pressure. Like they were saying a little while ago, they need to have a number where the teachers can call because, this is very telling for these teachers. There's a chemical imbalance. They're anxious. Not anxious because there's a chemical imbalance. They're anxious because you don't give them any information.
And look,
You're running around like idiots.
Look, guys, this is Mr. Frank Davalos Jr. He is the board member at Port Isabel. And what they did was proactive. What they did was decisive. What they did is called leadership. Leadership.
Forward thinking. What
they did. And they contacted Mr. Davalos, sent out emails to everyone out there. To all the boards around us, Harlingen, San Benito, Los Fresnos, and Brownsville, all the board members and all the superintendents said, guys, follow our lead. We said, hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we're not going to put our students' life in danger. We're not going to put our teachers in danger, our counselors. We're going to put no one in danger. No one is going to lose their job. That's what we expected today, Carlos.
That's exactly what it needs to be. And that's how easy it can be done. When you have people who are there for the right reasons, who are there to make sure that the kids and the staff are getting a quality education, but are safe doing so. Port Isabel took this damn virus and told them, hell no, we're not going to force our people to go. We're not going to force our students to go. We're not going to force anybody within the Point Isabel School District to even come close to a possibility of getting this virus within our brick and mortar facilities. They said that. Not only did they say it, but they showed it. And they told everyone what they're doing. And they're sending their comments to other districts so they can follow their lead. Yet we have someone who's going to have another meeting to figure out what we're going to do.
4 months. They've had 4 months, folks. And what did we find out today? Absolutely nothing. This emergency meeting was for nothing. I have filled out 3 surveys. And again, this emergency meeting was for nothing. Nothing. Has anyone better off now than they were before this meeting? Nothing.
Erasmo, they're talking about ADA. Okay, let's say they have 22 kids in a classroom, and one of them contracts the virus and dies. They've lost ADA for the rest of that kid's education. They're gonna lose more by forcing these people to go in there to get one ADA. Imagine a 30-year educator. You're gonna expose these individuals to stupidity because a board member wants just to allow this to happen because they don't want to take and swallow their damn pride and say, yes, Erasmo was right, Frankie was right, Brownsville Talk was right 4 months ago. It's not about pride, man. It's about doing the right thing.
4 months, and all we learned today was that hotspot isn't called hotspot in Spanish. Wi-Fi is called Wi-Fi, and baby showers are baby showers. That's what we learned at today's meeting, guys. Hotspots, Wi-Fi, and baby showers.
¿Cómo se dice en español?
Baby showers. It's the same.
Oh yeah. Can't make it up. You
Bro.
can't make it up.
That's what they and then Laurita wants to put circus tents at our schools.
For what?
Dun, 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 dun. And the only circus is that boardroom. That's the only circus in town.
Yeah.
They had 4 months for the safety of our students and staff. 4 months. And Janita, what did they accomplish in 4 months? Not a damn thing. Why are you showing the rest of the meeting? Because Brenda, I'm tired. You know, the rest of the meeting, they were going to vote on giving the superintendent more power. And really, we weren't getting anything from the meeting, Brenda. And you can find the meeting on YouTube, just YouTube, and then search BISD. Yeah, I'm tired. You know, me cansé. Qué fastidio. I got kids with disabilities. Believe me, when I say they won't follow their little signs, they won't.
They won't.
We're watching you, Erasmo, and they made it very clear today that they are watching you too. You know, it's kind of trippy when you live in people's minds, you know. but we are being proactive. We are, you know, people are saying, but we are being proactive, and people like us. You know, people thank us for everything that we're doing. What people?
Drew Brown has like 2 friends, man.
Sylvia and who else? Mary Tolman?
Brizzy.
That old survey was conducted before COVID rise. In the first survey, most parents were wanting kids to return. That's not the case anymore with the rise growth. That's why they need. Yeah, Deanne, but why are we spending so much time on surveys, Deanne? Close it down. Remote learning, that's it. There aren't options, Deanne.
Yeah, that's what the survey's not going to tell you that people are get their kids back to school.
Now, look, Deanne. So what's going to happen? They'll do a survey tomorrow and all this week, and then it's going to take them like 3-4 days to compile all the results and to bring them back to the board. And by then, guess what, Deanne? It's going to be outdated anyway. There's no choice, Deanne. Look, the only option available is to do what Port Isabel did. Shut it down now.
Distance learning.
Distance learning. Yeah, shut it down now. It's the only option. Deanne, my why I'm against the surveys? Why spend time, resources, energy on something that's not going to tell you anything? Anything. They have rights. I agree with Frank Dallas Jr. How hard is it to rely on each other? It's education about one simple thing to learn. Yeah. And again, I'm not blasting anyone here. I mean, it's okay if people have their opinion, but goodness gracious, we need to end the opinion thing. We need action. We need them to be proactive. Yeah, the difference is Port Isabel is not being puppeted by Sylvia, and this one is. All this meeting was today was reactive. It's all it was. BISD board no valen dos cacahuates. Se me hace mucho cacahuates. I'm fighting with each other. It's funny. It's stupid. I'm anxious, and I'm not a BISD teacher, counselors, or faculty member. I feel so bad for my friends that are being put through this torment. And you know what? They actually, Carlos, they actually think that they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're not.
But you heard them. Oh, people appreciate what we're doing. People
Erasmo,
like us.
Erasmo, we were outside BISD the other day with signs telling them what the majority of BISD staff wants them to do. I mean, they did it again today. Where are they saying that they're doing the right thing? You have hundreds of people. And with AOB, you have maybe a lot more than that are saying, stop what you're doing.
Okay, and I'll answer this. They said that they're requesting starting online. Shouldn't your fight be with TEA? No, Brenda, because we can't hold TEA accountable.
That's right.
Brenda, you can hold your school board members accountable because you vote for them, Brenda. Brenda, look at Port Isabel. And look, people may say, oh, Erasmo, it can't be done. It can't be done. They can't override what TEA says.
Of course they can.
PI did. Laredo did.
Erasmo.
Mission did. Come on.
Erasmo. TEA is only giving them advice. They're not dictating to them what they need to do.
Brenda.
That's done at a local level. That's done at administrative level. Who's the administrator's boss? The board. The 7 board members dictate what happens at your local level.
No, Brenda.
They just throw TEA out there just so they can save face, man.
No,
that's all it is.
It all is, Brenda. And again, I'm not trying to be mean, but Brenda, come on. You voted them in. You should have a voice with them. Why do you have to go and request something from TEA? You know that I filed 3 complaints with TEA, 3 complaints with TEA in regards to the stealing on that board. You know when they responded? Never. And that's with evidence and proof, Brenda. You can only hold your elected officials accountable, and you should. I mean, one thing, guys, I don't want you to feel powerless. You have power. You are the people. You are the government. This defeatist mentality, pues they're trying. Trying is not good enough. We're in the middle of an emergency. They had an emergency meeting and they did nothing. Nothing. Someone tell me one thing that was accomplished today, guys. Please call me out. Someone.
Waste of time.
Someone that saw the meeting is still looking at the meeting. Tell me one thing that they accomplished today. Y me callo la boca. One thing. I see. Yeah. Now they said, oh, well, it depends on the mayor. The mayor already said it, Carlos. The mayor already said it. He said it 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
But again, Erasmo, they are sharing the blame. They're trying to put this monkey on the mayor's back. The mayor has nothing to do with BISD until they force themselves to expose individuals to this virus and ultimately their death. The mayor can come and say, you know what, the school's going to be shut down. We're going to have martial law here. Nobody's going out to everybody. We're gonna confine everybody to their home. But why should the mayor have to do that when they should have competent individuals on the board?
As far as zona caliente. What about baby shower? Laura, shut up. A circus tent. We are screwed. Circus tents up for the board platform. I'm getting phone calls like crazy right now. Oh my gosh. Papa Chump is here. Shout out to my freaks. Papa Chump. Hi, Mom. It's ridiculous that these people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, $200,000 actually. Hell no, we won't go. My gosh. If one gets the virus, every kid and teacher gets checked out before coming back. Imagine that.
But again, they're going to force these people who are going to get the virus within the district. They're going to force them to use their sick leave.
Mayra is 100% right. And Mayra, we've been saying the same thing, Mayra. The same thing. End it in April. We said the same thing. And start preparing for next year. We said it the same thing. Judge Trevino, he spoke to the superintendent. Do you anything about that? It seems like he was trying to do something for the county. The superintendent dished the county judge and the mayor 3 months ago and told them go to hell. So now they want to pass it on the responsibility to the county. And you know, the county has to do the right thing. The county now has to say, shut down the schools. They have to do the right thing. They don't have any choice. BIZ has been a joke for a long time. They don't care about the students. They rather risk collect a paycheck than accept. You are right, 100% right. By the time I finish teaching my little ones to wash their hands, social distancing, their area, just take the temperature, my day is over. Los Rachos. Question. So if it's not them, who can we make it? Who can make it BIZ remotely DL? You can, by keeping your kids at home and saying we're not going to send our kids to campus. Do not send your kids to campus, Nayeli. Do not. That's it. Do not. It's your choice. It's your call. You're the parent. Do not send. Sadly, I agree with you. Thank you. Can there be a survey to vote them off? You can vote them off in November. That's a major survey. And we need you out there. I hope the judge shuts down everything. People are too stubborn. Yeah. Choose distance learning so teachers can start prepping. But yeah, Erica, but they should have chosen this months ago. You know?
Yep.
Now they want teachers to get ready for next. Look, they want teachers to get ready for next year, and they still don't know which one they're going to go. But Laredo, Mission, Port Isabel, they know.
Yep.
La Jolla just.
The teachers at Port Isabel and the employees in Port Isabel have a lot of anxiety right now.
No, man. They're sipping on strawberry daiquiris.
See, on top of turtles.
La Jolla has opted for remote learning. La Jolla.
What is the stress level now, I wonder?
No, sipping daiquiris. They're comfortable.
Montando tortugas.
And we actually heard it from a lot of Port Isabel teachers because I have a lot of Port Isabel teachers. They said we are so relaxed now. A big old weight has been taken off our shoulders. That's what
So
the Port teachers said.
there's no chemical imbalance in those school districts.
There's what?
There's no chemical imbalances in those districts.
They're good. Yeah, but they're not worried about cómo se dice baby shower in español. That's one thing that they're not worried about Wi-Fi.
La regadera del nene.
La regadera del nene. They're not worried about that. They're okay by calling it whatever you want to.
Whatever.
They have to keep the school open so that Celia can buy stuff from vendors so she can get kickbacks. They are way behind in processing the COVID test. It's anywhere 7 to 10 days. They are so dumb. I don't understand why they can't come up with a syllabus for parents to follow at home for us to teach our children. If they would pocket our taxes, they would have enough money to provide educational resources to everyone. Cease and desist, BISD endangerment, 100%. Flip-flopping Philip lied. This meeting was a sham. Nothing to be proud of in this meeting. Nothing. Why are we even listening to TA when they are working from home since January 20? Until January 2021. TA funds your district, Brenda. They already sent the money. They already gave the money. The money comes from the federal government and state coffers. The money is already there, Brenda. Stop believing these people. They're lying to you, Brenda. They're lying to you.
Well, Brenda's kids are the only ones going to be in the classroom then.
Brenda, Isabel is doing okay. La Jolla, Laredo, Mission, they are sending no one to class. Not teachers, not staff, and not students. You think they're not concerned about funding? Come on, Brenda. Come on. Wow, amazing that people still don't understand. Glad you're educating some of the parents that seem confused. I'm trying, but goodness, some people still don't get it. This is why we need stronger teacher unions and the ability to collective bargain. 100%, and that's something we're going to work on. El baby shower, la regadera del bebé, del nene. Are the tents going to be air conditioned? That's what he said it. She wants a circus tent. Nothing was accomplished. They found out how to say hotspot in Spanish. They
Punto caliente.
have crap for brains. Okay.
Punto caliente.
Punto caliente. I could have told them that, making themselves look foolish. It was confirmed that we are going back. That was the one thing.
Oh my gosh,
All the
man.
copies that they have pay raise, more time off the kids, nothing, teachers sap, nothing. You're living in their heads rent free. Hey, it's a tough job, babies, but we got to do it, Marlon. They're crazy, aren't they? For an emergency meeting, they seem to have quite a few show and tell presentations prepared, yet still weren't prepared to make an official decision. They had nothing except Wi-Fi and regadera del bebé, del nene, and
Punto
punto
caliente.
caliente. This district is too big, too much power for one person. BISB should be divided. Let me tell you, the truth, Rachel, is this: we just need leadership, and we have no leadership. I mean, as soon as they cut off the head of the snake, which was Sylvia Atkinson, all these other puppets who were only following the lead of the head of the snake, they don't know what to do. They can't make a decision to save their life. What's worse is they can't make a decision to protect your life and your student's life. That's what's concerning. I would like to know who is the idiot that said in order to get infected, you have to be next to someone for over 15 minutes to get COVID. Las podongas can get pregnant in less than 15 minutes. Number chet how man, those ladies get infected. Those podongas get pregnant just by looking at someone's things. Te están hablando el board para invertarte al baby shower. Yeah. Geraldo, vamos al baby shower. I can't believe that Minerva Peña said the teachers have to leave the PPE on campus. She's being even stingy with that. Me regresa esa máscara.
Y los guantes.
Y
Los guantes quiero que los uses al revés mañana.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. They are voting on something. Yeah, they're voting on giving the superintendent more money and more power. I don't care. Where's Phil Philip going to be on your show so he can make a bad connection so he doesn't answer questions? I'm going to send him a text right now to find out. Bring me little Eddie and I'll take care of him. I'll introduce him to the pythons. Little Eddie. Maybe. Wifey. They are voting on discussing consideration possible action to give the superintendent the power to make decisions and purchases related to COVID.
Oh,
More money for the superintendent para más daiquiris. Pobres tortugas. Protest at the board members' neighborhoods. If they can sleep, they can't sleep. Pues ya ves, Minerva she's up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Dios.
Entonces, es un hecho que regresan a clase y van a regresar con cubrebocas y todas las medidas. Right now, they say that todavía no saben, Elizabeth. Todavía no han tenido las suficientes para tomar una decisión. ¿Qué rollo, compadre? ¿Vamos a entrar a la escuela o no? No. Parents don't send the kids to school and they'll have no choice but to do online learning only. All my nephews and nieces are staying home. Stay home.
Yep.
What about Los Fresnos? Los Fresnos, they're having a meeting today at 6 o'clock. How is it fair of all the medical and hospital staff who are working day in, day out? Several hospital staff fear schools opening up. These board members don't care. They
Nope.
do not care. What if teachers decide to resign? That is something that I'm actually working on, Carolina. I'm actually working on that. Thanks to State Representative Eddie Lucio, who has submitted letters to the governor. And so we're actually working on that. Moving to Port Isabel here. I teach online for a private school in Fort Worth. There is no reason teachers cannot teach online. Isn't it true that funds can be made available for everyone to choose their children's education? Yes. Shannon is right. Está en la playa, distance swimming and tomando sol. Even our charter schools are going online. Yes. Start schools next year online. BSD use the rest of the school year to prepare yourselves in school next year online classes. They should start now. So when do we start school again? August 5th for teachers. Next week for some, actually. I think, right?
Yep.
November is going to be lit. Remember to vote in November. Amen. Area is surging with corona, and we would be senseless and dangerous for kids to return at this time. 100%, Michael. Try again in January. 100%. Just wait till January, man. Yo por eso no fumo. Oh, Kirina. Common sense is not so it isn't. Turtle King and his ninja failed to community once again. Claudia Gomez, I just turned in. What happened? Chaos. Can I hear money? Yeah. Leadership is the key to success and happiness. It is the ILES. I watched an hour and logged off. They said they push you for remote learning for first semester for all. Did they flip on that? Yes. Karina Tapia Robles, call me. Yes. Vote for Carlos Soto Melguizo, Olivo Frankie, Erasmo Castro. They truly care about children. Preach. They are fighting with each other. I just can't anymore. Someone please tell me what happens. Maria, te encargo. Send me a resume afterwards, mi amor. It is funny. Superintendent couldn't even organize a baby shower. Embarrassing to watch this board meeting. They have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. None whatsoever. Que saquen a esas fodongas del board. Gracias. A ti también, Elizabeth. People are asking about a survey. November will definitely be only survey you need. Vote them out. Preach, Natalie. Are you going to live for the Los Fresnos meeting? I might. I'll look for it. Vote for Olivo Frankie. Yes. Is it a boy or a girl? Mine is a boy. I'm having a boy and a girl. I'm having two babies. Para el baby shower. ¿Cómo se dice baby shower en español? Baby shower. Y el hotspot, punto caliente.
Y bien caliente.
Y el wifi, wifi.
Oh my
I
God.
don't care about el punto caliente being aside. Are you going to mention that Los Fresnos meeting about to? Yes, I will. I promise, Rosie. I'll be watching Los Fresnos meeting. Is it decided that we employees and students are going back? We learned and confirmed that today. No, we have heard it from the house's mouth. Listen, Milo. Hey, Milo. God bless. I think that you're going back. How do you say baby shower in Spanish? Así for my friend. Regadera del nene, baby shower. So if a kid gets sick, can a parent sue BSD? Yeah, or have a baby shower, either one. They should do what San Antonio is doing. Give students a laptop with internet instead of sending them to school. 100%. But look at what they said. They even said that we don't have laptops.
Nope.
You're about to start the school year and you still don't have enough laptops to give out to the students? What the hell have you been doing for the past 4 months? I want a better coverage from AT&T. They are questioning if they have the money to do.
Oh my gosh. Superintendent.
It's all about the money. Please live stream those. I promise, Steve. Mr. Tortugas. All for the love of money. Does not matter how many will sick or die, but their families will be safe and secure. Swa, swa! Baby shower. They passed the motion to give the idiot superintendent more power.
They will not learn.
Well, weepy. Weepy. It's not, I know it's not funny, Cam. Don't go to school. Cam, I'm sorry, Milo, but it's funny the stupidity these people pour out, bro. I'm sorry. Look, Milo, do not go on campus. Do not go. Do distance learning, 100%. That's what you have to do. So don't be upset. And I'm sorry if you took it that way, but it's very funny. Añado al niño. Alex also cares about the kids' health and teachers and staff, and now know that I personally will not send my son to school due to him having asthma. Voted Asthma Castro again. Thank you, John. Love you. Guys, go, Carlos. I have to take a phone call.
Hey, guys, well, I mean, you just got to make sure that you understand what's going on. These individuals who are there right now making decisions for the majority of the BIZ staff and our kids, because my kid still goes there. My wife is still an educator. They're not doing it in the best interest of you guys. You really need to understand that in November there's a huge change that needs to be made, and you got to make sure that you vote the right people in, because change can happen overnight, especially if you have the right people there. If you don't have anybody there and you're gonna vote because you're a compadre or whatever to keep the same people in there because you just don't want to hurt their feelings, nobody knows who you voted for inside. Vote for the right people to make the change, especially for BISD. We need it. Change is happening in Port Isabel. They had no issues. They took the responsibility, which is to make sure that their staff and their kids were safe. They chose to put everything through distance learning. That could happen here too, but our board members and the idiot superintendent don't care about that. They don't care about doing the right thing. They don't care about putting you guys first. They don't care about putting our kids first. They care about what is in the best interest for those 7 individuals. And some are going to ask you for your vote again. Well, look what's happening. You're going to get more of that in November if you keep those individuals in. Make a change. Vote for a change in November. It's just sad. So I wonder what is going on. Keep running. All right. So any updates over in the Glass Palace right now? Besides giving this superintendent more power? I mean, you do know what happened the last time they gave him power. He screwed up the ability for the counselors and the teachers to submit grades and get these kids on the right track for graduation. So now those 7 individuals, gave this individual, the superintendent, materials, more power to keep doing stupid decisions against the BISD staff, against our BISD family. Come on, guys. This needs to stop. The only way it's going to stop, it's in November.
Guys, I just received an important phone call. It's outside of what we're talking about BISD. We'll go back into BISD. Sorry, but just so that people know, the picture that was shared by Vanessa in regards to her father passing away, one of the police officers.
Yes.
She is not the daughter. She is not the daughter of the police officer.
What?
Yeah. So anyone that shared that post, please take it down. And I'll have more information tonight at 9 o'clock.
Damn it! I think we should end with that one.
Yes, guys. So anyone that shared the Vanessa post about her and her father, might want to take it down. It is causing the family a little bit of anguish. So,
wow.
I just got a phone call. So please remove it until we know for sure that Vanessa is actually the police officer's daughter.
Wow.
And we will end with that. So I'm going to try and find the post because, we were all trying to be sympathetic about it, But the reasoning, we don't know. I'll try to get more information, and we'll have a little bit more information tonight at 9 p.m. Carlos, thanks for coming on. Everyone,
before you end, are we still on?
Yeah, go.
I told everybody, I think in one of your shows, that I was going to run for the school board again. I think I'm going to run in the position where the individual that's going to see the court system and the federal justice system, I'm going to run in her position.
So you're officially declaring?
Yes, I should have worn a tie and everything like you guys do, but I'm working in a field, so I'm not in a tie and a suit. But I want to make sure that everybody understands we do need some positive individuals to go out there and make the right change for BISD, and that can happen. Like while you were on hold, I was telling everybody that this can happen overnight. Day 1, day 2, we can make things happen if you have the right people in November. So
Carlos Elizondo, place 7.
That's it.
Guys, let me tell you guys, I ran against this man. And let me tell you, if there's ever a time in the history of our community, is when individuals that at one point and other were competitors in a race for them to come together and say, you know what, it's time to put everything in the past behind. Let's move forward and let's bring true change to the city of Brownsville. Guys, the time is now. The time is now. You know, and let me tell you, I, like Carlos, have had everything in the kitchen sink thrown our way. Everything and the kitchen sink thrown our way. And we're still here. We're still fighting. We have shown and demonstrated love for community. And we're not going to let nothing hold us back, hold us down. So I'm very proud, Carlos, that you're running for BISD Board of Trustee Place 7. And let me tell you, I'm here to help. And let's bring true change to the BISD board. Let's bring true change to our city. Complete. It's an awesome way to end it. So we've had 2 declarations in 2 days. Place 2 and place 7. And we already know place 5. So we got a couple more spots to fill out, guys. And let me tell you, and then we push hard. We push as hard as we can.
Remember November, guys.
Remember November. Guys, God bless. Take care. And we'll see y'all tonight at 9 p.m. Bye.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.